Oh, Chad. We're about to spend a lot of money, I think. We have a hero charger. Lucky number 7, the infamous mech of the once luckiest man in the inner sphere, Terry Ford. His former lance mates in the 9th Lancers claim that Ford would regularly find himself in the thickest pockets of combat only for Ford to return to base without a scratch. Witnesses would also claim number 7 would repeatedly take shots that would take down an Atlas, only to walk it off as if nothing happened. Ford's luck eventually ran out when he failed a death from above attempt, saw lucky number 7's gyro shatter, causing the 80-ton mech to collapse face first into the ground, crushing number 7's cockpit and Ford with it. And only $9 million for this. Only $9.5 million for this thing. I mean, we have to. I'm not even gonna put up a poll. We have to buy this. It's the charger. It is the charger. And we have the money. I am glad we stopped in here. Now, with that being said, I'm immediately gonna throw it in cold storage because we're already hemorrhaging a bunch of money for all the mechs that we currently have built up. But we have it. I just need to wait for the fire starter to get finished, need to wait for this Vulcan to get done getting stripped down, and then we'll sell that off too. God bless it. Hit escape one too many times. Alright, let's get up here. Let's find out what's going on in Davian space. Correct, for those of you that don't know, that is, in fact, the same mech. Oh my. Well, we chugged real fucking hard there for a second. But yes, for those of you that don't know, that is, in fact, the lucky number 7 charger that is featured in Tex's video on the charger. Which, if you have not watched, you should absolutely go check out. We got invasion support, defense support. It might be worth it, but for right now, we've got a different mission that we're here to do. So we gotta bring her home. We'll take salvage, as you do. Good lord, that's a lot of salvage. 42 picks. 42 picks, chat. Alright, let's see what kind of lance we can throw together here. I think we have to take the Battle Masters. I think we also have to give... We have to give the Weeb Whacker one more chance. We'll just bring out the Battle Masters to play now. That's a little too heavy for the mission we're doing. We might actually have to pull some other stuff out of cold storage. We might actually have to pull some other stuff out. Alright, let's head back to the mech bay, because we need to pull out a little bit lighter material here. So, what do we take? I think we take the Crusader. How much does this Archer weigh? That's another 70-tonner. I think we take out the T-Bolt, because T-Bolt's always a good choice. Maybe some Orions as well. As long as I put some of these back in cold storage before we actually get underway, I think we'll be alright. Man, we just don't have a lot in the medium mech category, unfortunately. Most of our stuff is either heavy or assault at this point. We could take the Wolverine. Alright, let's see what we can do with that. We'll bring in the Crusader. We'll bring in the T-Bolt. And I think we're still going to be over the weight limit, sadly. We'll bring in the Wolverine, I guess? Oh, nope, we're right at the limit. Right at the limit. Alright, outstanding. Now, who's got the affinities? Who has the affinities? Nobody really has an affinity for the Battle Master yet, which is weird. Unless it's a variant-specific thing. Oh, we'll put Jonah in the cockpit. Let's see who's good with a Crusader. Not really a whole lot of people good with a Crusader. Let's put in General Quarters. Why not? Looks like Serini and Mara are going to be our best pilots for the Thunderbolt, so I'll put in Serini since they have a little bit less experience. And then, let's see, we could put Mate in. Who has less experience? Yeah, Mate! We're going to put him in the Wolverine so he can get a little more experience. And we're actually collecting a lot of negative quirks. I need to do something about that the next time we hit an industrial zone. Alright, chat, you know the drill. Let's make it hot. Let's see what kind of trouble we're gonna get into.
Attention. Prepare for battle mech departure. Warning. Hangar doors opening.
We are ready. We are ready. Now, I hope this Battle Master fares better on this mission than it did on the last one.
All systems nominal.
Commander, we're getting an urgent broadcast over the emergency bands. Patching it through now.
So what I want to know is...
I'm Duke Thaddeus Cole, of House Cole. My military command and I were ambushed by unknown battle mech forces en route to our meetup location. We managed to escape and have taken shelter in a nearby town, but well, I'm not sure how long we can stay holed up here. We've included our coordinates in this transmission, but we don't have the ability to encrypt them from here. If you're on world, please help us. They're coming.
I've marked the location of the town on your map. If we hurry, we may still have a chance to save him. Looks like we made it.
So like I was saying before I got interrupted by incoming transmission,
Are you a sight for sore eyes? It all happened so fast.
I was wondering why we can't do the hot drop out of the Leopard like all the enemies do.
Right now, your only line of defense against these bastards. Keep them from reaching us. Then we can talk.
Now fan out and take defensive positions. Prepare for incoming hostiles.
Because I would like to do the hot drop. I would like to do the hot drop, where they just come in and we drop straight out of the bottom of the Leopard, and then give them hell. But they never do that. They always land on the ground and then make us get out the hard way.
Wilco, focusing fire.
Well, they're around the backside. Guys, you are all faster than me. Please go get the bad guys.
They got one of our business centers.
My dude, I can only move so fast. I don't know what you want me to do.
Parking garage.
I'm going as fast as these big fat legs will take me. Come here, you little doofus. Stop it. Stop evading me.
Check your freaking
Yep, if you say so, Bubba. If you say so. God bless it. Get off the terrain.
Acquired.
Focus engagement on Leech target. They leveled the workers' housing units.
Where are you? You fucking donkeys! Stop following me and start following the enemy! Jesus Christ! Come here. Come here so I can give you the sword.
Nick Tango down. Right. Shifting to your target, Commander.
Please do, and actually go to the target instead of following me. I swear to God, if I stop too fast, y'all are gonna get your heads stuck up my ass.
Over here. Enemy vehicle destroyed.
I'm not gonna lie, Chet. As much as I like the idea of a battle master with a katana, at this difficulty, I feel like we're just not fast enough to use it. Like, it might be really good against other heavies and assault mechs, but when everything's either light or medium, it's not super effective.
Reconnaissance flights show increased enemy presence in the vicinity. Be on the lookout for further hostiles.
Well, Rihanna, if you could tell me where those reconnaissance reports were coming
One of the
from,
tanks we're contracted for.
that would be really helpful.
Ledge target received.
Like, you can tell me that the recon says they're coming, but you can't tell me what direction they're coming from? I have tried running faster, Dynamo. The problem is, I can only go as fast as the mech.
Target engaged.
I would love to go faster than this, believe me. If I could make a fight, or if I could make a battle master go 100 kph, I would do it. I've tried. Nah, glitch online, that's just a figment of your imagination.
Going after our office structures.
It's definitely not Palpatine. Definitely 100% a completely legally distinct entity, I promise. Come here, you little bastard.
Lance target identified. Clear the area. That mech is about to go critical.
I have, in fact, tried painting it in red. Because as we all know, red does make it go faster. Don't worry, I get stuck in with the voice. Orcs is the fastest and the strongest. And they go even faster with more DACA when it's red. So yes, I get your reference.
Target destroyed.
You don't have to donate bits.
Down.
Is that a manticore? It is a manticore.
Target destroyed.
Get the lasers, nerd. Get the lasers because you're too fast for me to give you the sword. Is that why Chicken Mech was running faster than you? He's marked it as red. Yeah, I mean, all the enemies are red, so they're by default faster than me.
Reinforcements spotted in the area. They look like they're heading your way.
And Dynamo, as promised, donating 100 Bezos bucks. I appreciate it, Dynamo. Like I said, you don't have to donate bids for that. I know you're relatively new to the channel and relatively new to my content, but I promise you, There's a lot of nerd culture that I'm into, more than you probably realize at a first glance.
Civilian residential tower.
I have 2 guard armies, a sisters army, an orc army, and several 30k armies as well. I say armies. They're mostly battle forces. I absolutely do 40k in my free time as well. Oh, not at all glitch online. Like I said, if you want to lurk, that's fine. I don't care if you spend 5 minutes or 5 hours here. Your time and your money is valuable, so I appreciate you hanging out. No Imperial Knights? You mean no pay to win? No, not really. I'm not into that. I mean, you should know my thoughts on Imperial Knights because I said Imperial Guard and not Astra Trade Markium. So if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about me as a 40k player, I don't know what else I can do with words. Come here, damn it. I hit you once with a sword. Let me do it again. Come here! Just, god damn it. Could you go a little bit slower? He knows. He knows, chat. Get the sword. Come here. There we go. I had to use the damn sword for something.
Combat vehicle rolling in.
There we go. There's another one. And you...
Nice reaction to
Get
an
wrecked.
unforeseen situation, Commander. The Duke was hurt in the assault, but only received minor injuries. He wants to talk to you. Patching him through now.
Oh, trust me. Trust me, was if they gave me the option of ripping off a mech's arm or leg and then smacking him with it, I would 100% do that.
Commander, she's the only family I have left. So I beg you, help me bring her home.
I've got the coordinates, Commander. We're good to go whenever you're ready.
So, does anybody else notice how the guy doing the voice acting for Cole is doing that kind of, you know, Shatner-esque thing where they, like he does, the dramatic pauses in really weird places in all of his sentences. Is it just me? Am I the only one that was picking up on that? Look at your pile of shame, witness the shame, and weep. Yeah. Well, here's the other thing, Dynamo. Not only do I have a pile of shame, I still have, like, half of the Cadia Stands box that I need to build and paint. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But I also have a 3D printer. So, yeah. My pile of shame never ends, and I can make it bigger at a moment's notice for absolutely no cost. Let's see what we got here. Any decent lost tech? Maybe, maybe not. We do have an engine core. I think I'm gonna take the engine core. What else we got? Nothing else of note. We got 42 picks though, so I think we take 2k, and then we got what, 9 more picks? So maybe do that. I'll pay an extra 100k. I'll pay an extra 100k to take home 2 mechs and an engine core. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. This isn't even my largest pile of shame. Honor goes to Warhammer, a War Machine. Now, War Machine, man. War Machine, that's a game. I like Privateer Press. I'm sad that War Machine has not been more successful than it is. Like, it's been successful enough, but, like, I genuinely hoped, because I happen to have a fondness for steampunk, and I happen to have a fondness for giant robots, so steampunk giant robots plus magic was, like, that was my shit. And I really hoped when War Machine first premiered, when it first released way back in the day, I was genuinely hoping that it would actually give Warhammer a run for its money and would become a big franchise like that, and it makes me sad that it didn't. Like, they're still out there. They're still making stuff. So, like, it's not like they went out of business or anything. But I always wanted War Machine to blow up, you know? Like, I wanted to be a big thing. I wanted to see it get the same kind of fan base and the same kind of support and the same kind of product lines that you get with, like, Games Workshop products, but it never happened. I mean, I've supported them over the years, but it never grew in the way that I wish that it would. And so, sadly, all the games of War Machine that I ever played, I had to provide the minis for both sides instead of, you know, somebody actually playing with me. But War Machine is still great. I love it as a setting, even if it's hard to find people that play it. Now, my big nerd cred name drop is AT-43. That's the nerd shit game that I drop when I need to tell people how long I've been around the mini wargaming scene. AT-43 was a goddamn tragedy. That game was great. It played great. The minis were great, and they even came pre-painted. And then the fucking company went under. And that is a tragedy, because AT-43 deserved to be bigger than it was. Is War Machine a millennial thing? I'm too zoomer to understand. Possibly. War Machine debuted, the actual game War Machine debuted in, like, the early 2000s. It was, like, 2005 or 6 or something like that, if I remember. And there was a tabletop setting before that, and I forget exactly what they called it. But it was like they had developed the setting first, and then they developed the miniatures game War Machine based on parts of the setting. And Chaplain Forbacus says, my Grey Hordes of unpainted minis is overwhelming. I have an Assault on Blackreach in cellophane. Good lord. Yeah, I don't feel bad, Chaplain. I have several sets that are still wrapped that I haven't even opened yet, so I 100% identify with you on that pile of shame. It's just a fact of life. It's just a fact of life. Was born in 2003. Well, then, in that case, welcome to a stream populated primarily by people that are probably twice your age. But at the same time, you know what? If you like nerd shit and you like Battletech, you're welcome here as much as anybody else. That's what it is. Iron Kingdoms. Iron Kingdoms. Yeah, that was the RPG setting that eventually blossomed into War Machine. Alright, let's see. So we're on to the next stage of Bring Her Home, and that is... Is it... Oh, I guess it's still on this planet. I'm okay with that. I like narrative missions where I don't have to go anywhere and I can just do all the contracts on one planet. They redid the RPG recently. Did they? Yeah, see, I haven't kept up with Privateer Press for a while. And that's just because, like, me and mini-gaming have kind of had a falling out recently just because, you know, with my current employment situation, I haven't had a lot of time for hobbies. I mean, I do plan to get back into it someday when, you know, I have a little more stable income and I can actually spend money on hobbies again. But for right now, it's something that I've had to put on the back burner.
Heavy weather warning. It's going to affect visibility and
Hero
sensors.
Quest. Yeah, Hero Quest was another thing that kind of was... It was big there for a minute, but it just, it didn't have staying power. But let's see, we got a little more weight to play with on this mission, so I think we will take out 2 of the Battle Masters this time around. Oh, maybe we even go with another heavy mech. Hold the phone. What else do we have? What else? Can we take the Dragon Slayer? Oh, chat, we can take the Dragon Slayer. Alright, so here's what we do. Here's what we do. We're gonna swap them out. And god damn it, Leaf Blower Coon. I don't think they're moving towards me, but they might be. So we might have to mute up here in a second. But anyway, let's drop the pilots for now. Fuck. Go away. Go away. Alright, there we go. And it looks like this Vulcan has finally been stripped down, so let's go ahead and sell that. And we've got ourselves a nice, tidy hangar again. You love to see it. Let's go ahead and get rid of that as well. And the Highlander is still being worked on. The crabs are still being upgraded. This fire starter has been finished, so we'll go ahead and slot that into cold storage. Let's see. Which of these crabs is the one that we stripped? This one? Alright, we'll go ahead and sell that one. Goodbye, crab. You served with distinction. We will never forget you. We will never forget you. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get everything repaired. And then, let's see what pilots we're gonna put in. I know we were using the Commander and the Dragon Slayer. I guess we'll do that again. Who is building up affinity for the Battlemaster? Looks like Antsi's been building up some affinity for it. Anybody else? Doesn't really look like it. Let's see. Who have we not put in today? I think we put... Oh, you know what? Jacob Bronsky. We have not put in Bronsky today. And Aetherin has been one of the newest members of the company. They also haven't been put in, but Mate's got more experience in the Wolverine, so we'll do it that way. Had to strip all the GW stuff out of it. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, Hank, when you see what I was saying? I'd archive yourself with it. Yeah, yeah. Those were the days. Those were the days. I miss those days. I miss the days. Wait, hold on. Okay, repairs will be done. Got it. Let's go. Let's make it hatch yet. But I miss those days of, like, the early 2000s, and the mid-2000s when, you know, minigaming had reached a new apex and, you know, things were blowing up and Warhammer was getting bigger and you saw all kinds of minigames that were being created suddenly. Like Infinity came out around that time as well, and I never really liked the mechanics of Infinity. Like, I played a few games of it, but it just, like, the flow didn't feel right to me. But, like, you saw Infinity, AT-43, you had Malifaux that came out around that time. Like, there were a bunch of minigames that came out in the mid-2000s. And some of them were really good, and just didn't get the publicity that they deserved, sadly. GW kind of just gobbled up the whole market. But I miss those days of competition. And, like, all these crazy new ideas that people were trying. Like, I wish we could get back to those days. It looks like it's gonna be yet another mission where we're gonna be getting hammered by artillery the entire time.
Let's take that tank apart.
You get it, Rihanna. I'd rather take the artillery apart. Could we do that instead? Get stomped on. Now, what was that? Is that... Oh no, that's not a turret. That's a vehicle. Can't really see him through the trees, though. Go into the darkness. Jesus.
Target acquired.
I have never seen such a durable harasser in my life. Let's take care of this satellite dish. Oh, turret cartel, back at it again. Just run that over as you do. And then where is the rest of the artillery is the question. God damn. Turret cartel really is out here. They are just everywhere.
Target identified.
I think Infinity is still alive. Oh yeah, it's still alive. And it's still getting releases on a fairly regular basis. They've definitely slowed down the frequency. Sorry, Jet. They've definitely slowed down the frequency of releases from, you know, back in the older days. But they're still going. They are still going.
Neutralized.
I really like the style of their minis. Like, how they kind of have this very anime style to the minis, but they also are doing their own, like, cyberpunk thing with them. I really like the mini style for Infinity.
Target acquired.
Get some X-Wing on. So wait a minute, are you actually playing an X-Wing mini game, or are you playing just the Star Wars miniatures game?
Commander. That's one less target.
Because I've heard good things about the Star Wars miniature game, but unfortunately it's another one of those things that's kind of just been
Destroyed.
in my peripheral vision because I haven't really had the time for it or the money for it. But I've heard people say good things about it. But if there's like an actual X-Wing type of fighter combat game, I did not know that. It's my first time hearing about it.
Target acquired.
No, no, no. Take out the vehicles, please. The vehicles, please.
Target is down.
Oh, turret cartel. Man, there's like 8 fucking turrets surrounding every single objective here. X-Wing minis game all come pre-painted and are really nice quality. See, so I'm a nerd, right? So when I got my AT-43 miniatures back in the day, the first thing I did was try to strip the paint off of them and repaint them myself, because I like painting stuff. Not that they did a bad job or anything, but if I was doing like an X-Wing miniatures game like that where they come pre-painted, like I would definitely have to try to strip the paint and do it myself. Because I always like to paint stuff. But it's nice that they come pre-painted, because I think that's one of the things that keeps a lot of people out of the hobby. Mini gaming as a hobby, that is. Because you have a lot of folks that, you know, maybe want to play the game but don't have the skill to paint and don't want to learn or feel like they're not good enough at it. And so they're like, oh, well, I don't want to come to the table with unpainted minis, and so they just don't play the game. Whereas if the game has pre-painted minis, then you don't have to worry about it. Like, you can be a nerd like me and repaint your own miniatures, but you don't have to do that. Like, you can be extra if you want to, but there's still a lower barrier of entry for the average player, which I think is a good thing.
New target.
Just let us handle it from here.
Don't have the patience or dexterity for painting. Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, I understand a lot of people are like that. Like, a lot of people either don't have the patience to learn the skill, or don't think they're good enough at it, or just don't want to. Sometimes you just want to play a game and you don't want to have to worry about all the extra stuff that comes along. I know that that's, you know, that's a reason that a lot of people maybe don't get into Warhammer as much as they could, because they don't want to have to paint all their own stuff. And trying to pay other people to paint for you, that gets even more expensive. As you'll see somebody doing professional painting and they're like, yeah, I want $15 per mini. And it's like, for fucking what, dude? And then they've probably got, you know, a 3-month backlog. So not only are you going to have to spend at least $1,000 painting a full army, but then you're gonna have to wait 6 months before the guy actually finishes doing it anyway. And that's coming from a professional studio. That's not, you know, there's plenty of one-man armies out there that are doing it on like Fiverr and stuff.
One of the more tanks.
If you want to trust some rando with your minis. So for me, it was a simple matter of simplicity, right? Like, if I just learn how to paint myself, then it's a new skill that I can learn. And I like learning new skills anyway. Like, I always like to learn new things. I mean, I taught myself everything that I know about streaming and all that. That was not a skill set that I had when I walked in the door. It's just something I taught myself. And yeah, I mean, I understand that not everybody likes to do that, but for me, that's the draw. Like, I don't even play Warhammer anymore, but I still collect it and I still build their stuff because I like their models. I like the hobby part. I like the building and converting and painting and all that. Like, that part is still fun to me. Rihanna, if you would please just leave me alone for a minute.
DMM insertion team has landed and is moving to assist you, Commander. Clear the way for the rest of them.
If you want it done, do it yourself. Yeah, I mean, that's one way to look at it. I prefer to look at it like, I know that I'm always gonna be happy with the paint job if I did it myself. Or, I guess maybe not happy with it, but I'm going to be more satisfied with a paint job that I have done myself than I will be on a paint job that someone else did, right? Because there's the satisfaction factor. There's the I did this myself factor. And that definitely means something. I know a lot of people will sit there and say, oh, that doesn't matter. No, it absolutely does. Like, knowing that you are the one that painted up this entire army, that you put in the work and the hours, like, that absolutely means something. And it adds value. And I see you, Antsy. Hydration income. By the way, I don't know if I've mentioned this. This artillery is really, really fucking annoying. Because it's just non-stop and they're covering an absolutely ridiculous area with this shit. Like, it is excessive. I wish I had a faster mech. I mean, I guess technically I do. No, doofus. Let's use the Wolverine and let's go take out these fucking artillery, shall we? One water before I go to bed. Well, have a good night, Antsy. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Hopefully everything was good for you. And I do hope that you have an outstanding rest of your weekend. What's new with you this weekend, by the way? Hi, beautiful. Well, hello to you, beautiful, as well. Pugs Hunter, good to see you. Glad that you could join us on a Saturday for some more hot mech-on-mech action. And hopefully the weekend is treating you well. I'm doing well. We're still stuck in the middle of our modded Mechwarrior 5 campaign. And we just been sitting here chatting shit about nerd stuff and just random things. You know how we do. Stomping mechs and chatting shit. That's what we do here for the most part. Artillery is deeply distracting. Yeah, it kinda is. It kinda is. Where the hell, like, I hate that these artillery pieces are only showing up momentarily and then they vanish again, and it's like, could you just show me where the fuck they are full time so that I can just go blow them up? It's really irritating. Do I need to go destroy this dish to know where the artillery is? Is that what the problem is? Like, I know there's one over here because I keep seeing it pop up periodically. I mean, on the one hand, it's kind of cool because they only show up when they fire, but on the other hand, it's really fucking annoying.
Radio chatter indicates more enemy units inbound.
I need to actually be able to see the artillery markers. Get wrecked, nerd. And you get wrecked too, you piece of shit. So many turrets. So many turrets. So, here's the thing about the turrets in this game. Like, I know they have to give you something as a speed bump, right? And I don't necessarily have a problem with that, but rap with me for just a second, because I have a comparison to make. And it's not a good comparison, but I have a comparison to make between this game and its turrets versus another game, which I know some of you have probably played, called Remnant from the Ashes. Now, I know that there was a sequel that came out to it recently, but I'm talking about the original Remnant, the one that came out like 4 or 5 years ago. And the similarity that I draw is I absolutely, like, Remnant was a cool idea. I really like the idea of Remnant and what it was trying to do. The thing that I didn't like about Remnant is that it was a Souls-like game, and yet all of its boss encounters, well, I'm sorry, most of its boss encounters were like amateur level game design. Because if you've played the game, the problem that I have with Remnant's boss design is that most of the bosses, probably 90% of the bosses in the game, and there are a lot of them, essentially boil down to the boss is a giant bullet sponge with a huge health pool, and they just spawn infinite adds the entire fucking fight. That was my criticism, is that instead of them having any kind of interesting mechanics, it's just a bullet sponge with big AoEs and a million infinite spawning adds. And that's the way this game feels sometimes, where instead of mission design, they just sprinkle some objectives over the map and then put a bunch of vehicles and turrets in between them. And that's not mission design. It's a little frustrating sometimes. It sours my mood a little bit when they do it on missions like this, where there's poor visibility and they have artillery everywhere. If the artillery wasn't here, it wouldn't bother me as much. Remnant was Gearbox? I don't know. I don't think so. It might have been published by Gearbox, but I don't think it was developed by them. I could be wrong, though. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. Handmade missions cost money, and they had none at first. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, I'm critical of the design, but at the same time, I'm usually the first person in this chat that will praise Piranha for having improved over the lifespan of this game. Like, if you take the vanilla mission design versus the mission design in the later DLCs, there has been clear improvement. And that makes me happy. Like, it means, to me at least, that they are learning and that they are trying to improve the product. And that's a good thing. But it doesn't make the vanilla mechanics any less frustrating when you have to deal with them. Yeah, there's not that much already on me because I think they're shooting at the allies now, which is fine by me. But yeah, like I said, I'll be the first person to praise Piranha's progress over the lifespan of Mechwarrior 5, but it doesn't make the poor game design decisions any less glaring, and it doesn't make them any more forgivable just because, you know, they didn't have the budget.
New target.
Bunch of light mechs, yeah, we can handle some Panthers there. Oh, sorry, there was a Jenner mixed in. My mistake. I apologize. I didn't mean to assume your chassis type. Does give us some replayability. The old Mechwarrior games felt like one and done. Yeah, and that's the other thing, is Mechwarrior 5 was definitely going for more of a replayability factor than the previous games. The previous games were good in terms of the gameplay and stuff, but they really were more of a, you know, you do it and it's done and that's it. And if I'm being honest, that's the one thing that kind of scares me about clans, is I don't know, like, here with Mechwarrior 5 Mercenaries, it makes sense that you would have a sandbox experience, because mercenaries.
She wishes to speak with you. Patching her through now.
But with clans, I don't know narratively if there's going to be a way for them to implement some kind of sandbox like they did here, or how they would do it.
I was able to drop a tracker in the vehicle that nabbed me. I want to get to the bottom of who these goons are and why they're after my
So if I have one fear about clans, it's that. It's that they're going to get rid of the sandbox experience, and I hope that they don't, because the sandbox experience is the part of the game that I really enjoy. Like, the gameplay works well enough, but the sandbox experience is what really sells it for me. Alright, that's another mission down. We got another engine core on the field, a lot of medium lasers. We might actually have some decent salvage here. Let's have a look. No, not really. Not really. Well, that's disappointing. Well, we can take the charger and sell it. I could take the engine core and sell it. It's only 8 picks. Let's see. Do we take... I guess we take the Jenner and then fill in with... I mean, if they're gonna give me tier 4 medium lasers, I can't pass that up. So I'll drop the Jenner. And we'll take this Panther. There we go. It's hard for me to pass up tier 4 medium lasers. His turrets are cheap to produce and deploy them in a lower perspective. Yeah, and we've talked about that before, Dizzy. Like, there are certainly in-game justifications for all of the turrets. But I don't see it from a lore justification perspective. I see it from a game design perspective. It's a way to put speed bumps in your way. It's a way to give you, 1, things to shoot at, and 2, things to shoot at you. Because with as big as these maps are, if you didn't put turrets every 10 feet, you would basically just be walking a kilometer, get in a fight with some mechs and vehicles, then the fight's over, and then you walk another kilometer and get in another fight, and that would be really boring. So, like, I understand why they do it, but it's still poor game design. And And again, they made the best with what they had. You know, they needed some kind of gameplay loop. That's the solution they came up with. I would have liked to have seen it patched out and improved over time, but that's what I mean. Like, the DLCs get better, but the vanilla experience is still lacking a little bit. And again, that's okay. These things happen. It's not the end of the world. It's not like I'm going to stop playing Mechwarrior because I'm still having a good time with it. It's just... You can tell sometimes on those missions, especially the missions where you're just getting hammered by artillery constantly. Like, those missions are very, very frustrating for me because, like, you're meant to play it a certain way, but the game doesn't tell you that. Like, unless you go in and you read every single line of every single mission description for every mission that you play, you're not gonna know that you're going into a mission where they're gonna dump artillery on you every 3 seconds from start to finish. If you knew that, you could go in and say, okay, well, I'm gonna take a faster mech so that I can deal with the artillery. But if you don't do that, and you do like I did, and you take a slow mech, well, now that mech is basically a liability because you can't get out of the artillery in time, and you just sit there and take damage and take damage and take damage until you die. And that's, again, to me, that's poor game design. Put it in bright red flashing letters in every mission and say, this is an artillery mission. Okay, great. I know that now, and I can plan accordingly. But, like, so as an example, if I go into the contract, this description is the same description as every other mission that I have done like this. Like, it works kind of like BTA or like Battletech 2018, where it'll have the name of the mission, but this is just a mission template. And so this description is going to be the same every time. But if there are slight variations, like, hey, there's more VTOLs, or hey, mercenaries are going to show up. Like the mercenaries thing, they did great. They put it right here, front and center. Hey, mercenaries are active in this area. You could potentially run into them. Okay, great. I know that now. So do the same thing. Have a little icon right here of just artillery. So I know, hey, this is one of those missions where I'm going to get hit by artillery the entire time. It's just a UI thing. Again, as a amateur game design enthusiast, I have my own input there. That's what I would do, is give me some kind of set of icons that indicate the challenges or the modifiers that I'm going to be dealing with. Like, hey, there are more heavy mechs on this mission. Hey, there's a lot of light mechs. There's ECM. There's artillery. Hey, there's airstrikes, even though I know those aren't in the game. But, like, have a set of icons that will tell me the types of threats that I can expect to run into. Yeah, military intel, always right. If only that were the case. If only. Alright, so where are we now? They want us to go to this part 3. But for some reason, it tracked me onto a different quest. So let's go view transmission. I don't want that transmission. So we are going up here to Matar. So let's go up to Matar then. Actually, before we go, let's make sure we repair the mechs. Don't do the dumb. Remember to repair the mechs. We'll go ahead and sell this Panther as well. Don't need that. I'm thinking about selling the Charger because there's not a whole lot left of it, but we can still get some decent money. We still get almost 3 million C-bills from selling the Charger, so I'm good with that. It's a good pick. And speaking of, we haven't done weapon upgrades in a little while, so let me double check. And basically what I do is go through here periodically, and anytime I have a bunch of tier 0 of something, I go ahead and upgrade them. But we're late enough in the campaign, I don't think we're gonna have too much tier 0 equipment anymore. Oh, look at that. We can upgrade some assault knuckles. Might not be a bad idea to upgrade some medium lasers. We have 35 of them. We could make 11. Sure, why not? Got small lasers that we can upgrade. think that's it. Alright. Now let's get underway. Now let's get underway. I mean, I've said before about weather reports, like, being a weather person must be great, because you go to college and you spend a lot of money on a degree, and then you go into a profession where if you're right 50% of the time, that's considered a good metric. Like, imagine any other job that required multiple college degrees where you could be wrong half the time and be considered a top performer. There's no other profession like that, as far as I know. Like, do you think that they would accept a 50% success rate if you were a brain surgeon? Do you think that they would accept a 50% success rate if you were a fucking lawyer? Would they accept a 50% success rate if you were an engineer and 50% of the buildings that you designed collapsed? Like, no. It's insane to me that and I understand they're doing their best, but like, and I get that the weather is unpredictable, but that's the thing. Like, this is a job that requires a college education and uses some of the most advanced technology that humanity has available to it, and the best you can do is like 50%. The Farmer's Almanac, for those of you country folks, for people that live in the United States and you live in the country, the Farmer's Almanac predicts weather a decade in advance, with more accuracy than your local weather person. Now, to be fair, the Farmer's Almanac is also not super specific like your local weather person actually is. Like, it'll say, hey, you know, this period is going to be wetter than usual, drier than usual. This period is going to be warmer or colder. You know, it gives you ranges. But the Farmer's Almanac is more accurate more often than your average local weather person. So, I mean, I'm just saying, somebody's got it figured out. But it clearly is not meteorologists. Let's see you read those chicken bones. Yeah, exactly. Read those chicken bones. Alright, let's get in here. Bring her home, part 3. I'm thinking this will probably be the last part, or it may lead into another mission chain. But let's give it a shot. 340 ton limit. So, this is gonna be another pretty hefty mission. So, I think... yeah, we can actually afford to put some heavier metal in here, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So where's that other battle master? Oh, no, wait, that's not the battle master we want to take. Never mind. Alright. So here's what we're gonna do. I shouldn't. I should not give the Dragon Slayer to the AI. I know better. I know it's going to end badly. But I'm going to do it anyway. So we need to find another pilot to drive this thing. And I want somebody with really good damage mitigation skills. And unfortunately, I think it's either going to be ants. Well, you know what? Erst has got some really high damage mitigation, so we're going to go with that. And what I'm going to take is this brand new Highlander. This Royal Highlander. And we're going to put... who do we want to put in? Who's got good ballistics? We're going to put... who do we want to put in? Who's got good ballistics? 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 Who's got good bal The president's daughter has good ballistics. Sadly, she's not here to help us out. I think our best bet is going to be either Northman or Serini. Serini needs experience, so I guess we'll take them. Yeah, I'm also equipped with ballistics, but that's a different kind of ballistics. Different kind of ballistics, if you know what I mean. Oh, is it a 4-mission chain? Well, that's unfortunate. That's okay, we gotta do them eventually. Alright, let's make it hot, chat. Let's make it hot. And War Rocket Ajax roll into the chat on a Saturday with the Stompy Robot. Woo! Good to see you, Ajax. Thanks for joining us on a Saturday.
Okay, Commander.
Hopefully the
mercenary
weekend is treating you
attackers
well.
logistics center is just ahead.
Thanks for coming to hang
Our
out
job
with us.
is
Oh,
to
weapon groups. Alright, let's see. I want that. I want that. And we'll leave the lasers on group 3. We'll have punchy time if we need it. Let's see, this is interesting. In Australia, we had Bureau of Meteorology, which is a government-run organization. Have a pretty good record. They provide all the data to local news, and they interpret and present. It's way better than 50%. Well, if that's the case, then maybe that's just an American phenomenon. Because weather folks here in the U.S. are notoriously bad.
Pick up as much of a shitstorm as possible to draw them out and keep them distracted while Samantha infiltrates the data server. Make a good show of force, but be sure to fall back once all the main objective marks are destroyed.
Alright, chat, you're gonna have to help me. What's the button to change the LBX ammo? Surprise, motherfucker. Excuse you? Come here. Come here, you little donkey. Oh my god, the VTOLs. It never ends. I think it's page up or page down. Page down is the vision modes. I know that. Let's see. Page up. It is not page up. It's a modifier key in the weapon group. Can't remember if it shift, alt, or control. Alt, control. Let's see. I think it's control? No. It's still doing cluster. Yeah, it's still doing cluster. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out, chat. It's control weapon group number. Nah, because control is torso lock. What am I doing? I'm getting lost here. I'm getting distracted. We need to double back and hit that objective that's close by. Unfortunately, we're in a Highlander, so this is gonna take a little while. Check controls and options. Yeah, I guess that's the smart thing to do. Options. Pilot overhaul. No, I want controls. Let's see. Weapons, increase, target enemy, highlight group, toggle weapon group, target chain fire. I'm not seeing it. Ammo switch. K. Alright. Well, I think this is just a cluster LBX-10 though, so I think we have to use cluster no matter what we do. Because it specifically calls this out as the LBX-10 CLU. And it let me use just... No, I was... So... Hold on. Controls. Let's go down here. So we got weapon group, right? Weapon mode group 1. Got it. So let's see if I do that.
Can you do that?
Yeah, that doesn't do anything. So, and I think this has got something to do with the weapon itself, because the weapon is called a cluster LBX-10, but it was letting me use just regular LBX-10 ammo. And if I remember right, it's supposed to be the other way around. Like, you just have an LBX-10, and then you either have cluster ammo or slug ammo.
That's one target down. How are you faring on your end, Samantha?
I've almost made it to the data vault. Whatever you're doing, it's working. They're moving on to your location. I just need you to buy me some more time. Take out those other installations.
This is Grimor. Take that.
New target charging.
Oh, they're dropping more mags.
Group target acknowledged.
They are dropping more mags.
Oh boy. Group activities.
Group activities indeed.
You just watched that one soul leave its body.
Destroyed.
I mean, I know I said this before, but that Patrick Warburton voice or impression is growing on me a little bit. Like, I didn't like it at first, but the more I hear it, the more I think I'm starting to like it.
This is Grimor. Goodbye. Lance target received.
Now, attack the javelin that's running around shooting you in the back, please. There we go.
Sort of enjoyed work today.
See, this is what I mean. He's growing on me a little bit. He's growing on me a little bit.
Target destroyed.
Yeah, we don't have any slug or cluster ammo. We just have bins that are labeled generically as just LBX-10 ammo. So I don't know if that's the problem.
New target.
We're on it, Commander.
I do like MMLs.
Acquired.
They can be very useful depending on the situation. Aw, you lucky bastard. You dodged that volley of missiles. Come here, you donkey. I mean, I'm not surprised because Kurita, but there's a lot of units named Blade Unit, apparently. Seems like every mission we go on, Blade Unit's taking heavy losses, so either that's a really big unit, or they got multiple Blade Units. Yeah, that's the only logical explanation. Remember it says on the weapon description both the LBX cluster and solid that you can change it to the other, and Rogue Tech you need both ammo types. Yeah, and I know it's a little bit different here, which is why I'm a little confused. Not 100% sure how it's intended to work. Because I've really only ever used the cluster ammo. So for me, that's all I know. But then the slug ammo would just be regular an AC-10, right? Like it wouldn't be all that dissimilar from an AC-10 as far as I understand it. And these guys are not having a good day. Oh, we're doing fisticuffs. Allow me. If we're throwing hands, then I'll throw some hands. I think Allures the LBX can split a solid slug into 8 or 10 charges it fires. Yeah, it makes sense.
You're natural. I was able to extract exabytes worth of encrypted data from these guys. It's
Look
still
at
in the
that,
decryption
exabytes.
process,
Exabytes
so
of
no
data,
one is
Chad.
responsible for the attack on my father
She
just
must be
yet.
like a
One thing
totally
that is clear
elite
is
pro
that this
hacker, you
data was
guys.
sourced from deep within Combine space, so that'd be a good place to start looking.
Combined space? There may be more at play here than we realized, Commander. Let's regroup and see what turns up in that data.
Are you really, you butthole? Big number hacking, yeah. She's in. She is in, chat. She has hacked the mainframe. And she's downloading all the RAM right now. Well, you know what? The scats living in the hills will appreciate this.
Can you believe ancient parents took so long to get here? Crazy.
Yeah, I know, Ajax, I know. See, if you were such, 5 million IQ, 5-head genius, like this lady was, then you would have been doing it the easy way the whole time. But see, you've been out here doing it the hard way. X mission is pretty cool. I don't like the way that you put quotes around cool. I don't know if that refers to the temperature or if that refers to cool as in like fun as like the Dwarf Fortress definition of fun. SRM6 Inferno, yes I will. I do believe I will. Anything else? Not really. Alright, let's see what we got in the mech salvage then. We got the Charger. Again, good for money. Got a Kintaro, but it got cored out. It does still have Pharaoh in it though. And it also has another SRM6 Inferno, so that could be a good get. Not much else of note, so I think we take the Kintaro, I think we take the Locust, and then we fill in with, I guess, another SRM6 and some Frank's Red Hot. As you do. LBXs use special ammo, but can fire normal slugs. Well, I mean, I think that's the same I mean, I always assumed LBXs were just an upscaled version of, essentially, a shotgun. Like, the projectile that comes out the gun depends entirely on the projectile or the cartridge that you put in it. If you put in buckshot, you're gonna get buckshot. If you put in a slug, you're gonna get a slug. But for some reason, the way that the game is handling it right now, yeah, for those of you that don't know, for those of you living in the US, Memorial Day weekend. So, you know, that's where we're all gonna sit around and we're gonna think very respectfully on all of the hot dogs and hamburgers that are going to be consumed in a glorious display of capitalistic avarice and gluttony. It's beautiful. But we did good, we did good. But looking at the mechs, because I want to make sure I'm understanding correctly. And to be fair, in case that description got you twisted, I love Memorial Day weekend, and I'm all about it. Like, I'm full support of the military and all that. So, you know, Memorial Day is kind of a thing for me. I'm a military brat, so it has a little more significance to me, I think, than the average person. Actually, we can assemble some mechs. So hold on a second. Let's put together a spider. Let's put together a centurion. And let's definitely put together a battle master. And the battle master is going straight into cold storage. The centurion and the spider we'll just go ahead and sell. Basically, just putting them together so we can sell them for money. We're only making back a little bit more than what we would have gotten. Like, I spent $1 million on the spider, we got 1.1 million back, so technically we made money. But selling the salvage parts, they're only 10k each, so it's not really worth it to sell them by the parts. And Adam Musk re-priming for a second month with a beatdown emote. Adam Musk, thank you so much for the continued Prime support. Appreciate you sticking around. Thanks for supporting me, supporting the channel, and supporting the community. Again, you do not have to do that, but I appreciate that support all the same. The Amazon Prime lets you subscribe to one Twitch channel for free, so I appreciate you using it here. Left control plus the line number of your weapon. Yeah, I tried that and it didn't do anything. Which is why I suspect there may be an issue. And I'll show you the actual mech so you can see what I'm talking about. So when we go into well, I guess I'll have to cancel the work order, hold on. So when we go in here to the loadout, we have this. The LBX cannon cluster, right? But then when we have the ammo, it's just LBX-10 ammo. Like, it's not cluster or slug, it's just ammo. So unless there's a way to, like, change the LBX into something else, I don't know what else we're supposed to do. Because this is very clearly labeled as a cluster autocannon, as opposed to a slug. Look at the tooltip, it tells you. Let's see. Ballistic weapon that fires cluster or solid slug rounds at long range. Mode switch available in yet another mech lab. Control weapon group. Yeah, and again, I did that and it didn't work, which is why I don't understand, like... I know somebody was saying you may have to rebind the keys for it to work, so I'll try that and see if that fixes it. But let's go ahead and get the work order queued up. And we definitely need to make you a sniper rather than a missile boat because you don't have that many missiles. And the Kentaro, we will get into the loadout. I want to strip the Pharaoh off of this puppy. And I guess I'll take the SRM Inferno as well. Might as well take the LRM-5. Like, those are decent weapons, so we'll take those. Go and start the work. It's gonna be a little expensive, but it's whatever. We got money to burn. We have money to burn. Need to repair the Awesome as well. Forgot to do that. And the Highlander has earned its paint today. So let's go ahead and slap the company colors on it. Get this dirty, filthy Liao green paint job off of here. I think you hit F1 instead of 1. No, I hit 1. So here's the thing. Here's the secret about me, chat. I don't like reaching for the F keys to give commands to my people, so I moved it to the number keys. Alright, BLM. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you had a good time, and hopefully we'll catch you on the next one. And make sure to have a good night's sleep, have some sweet dreams, and I hope that you will have an outstanding rest of your weekend. Is that the problem? Does it unbind the key, though? Let me see. Controls, keyboard and mouse. Let me do this. Let me just do this. I'll do Control and F1 because I'm not using F1 for commands. How about that? Cash me outside. How about that? Suck it, YAML nerds. We'll see if that works. Hopefully it does. Bring Her Home Part 4. With this, we can finally find our answers and put a stop to this mystery threat. Heavy fog detected in operational zone. Vision and sensors will be impaired. Well, it's a good thing I have predator vision then, isn't it? Okay, that is not where we're going. I guess we need to go somewhere else. Oh my. Oh my, we're going way up. What the hell? Okay, something's going on here. Yeah, I was about to say, I refuse to believe that it's sending us all the way to Steiner space for the last part of this mission. Let's see. Riesling's planet. Oh, shit. I do see a hero mech. Let's go get it, chat. Kurita hates us, so it's gonna be expensive. EW, you are forgetting. You have plenty of things that you could put into your mouth right now. In fact, you have at least 10 of them on your hands. Use one of those. Alternately, there's one, hopefully larger one, that you can get to anytime you want, but you have to be kind of flexible. And Erst says, I'm back now. Welcome back, Erst. Kodiak Doug first on chatter says, what honestly mercenary doesn't Kurita hate? I mean, that's true. That's true. Draconis Combine basically hates all mercenaries because Durka, honor, whatever. But, yeah. Yeah. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Honor is for clanners and losers. Alright, show me what you got. Mary Tallman grew up around mechs. Her father was a house tech with the 22nd Avalon Hussars, and in her late teens, she built her own Locust from spare parts. That's impressive, actually. Being comfortable inside a mech had its downside, and she chafed under the classwork in NAIS, instead leaving and enlisting with the Avalon Hussars. With time, two things became apparent. Mary was a competent officer and unlikely to see promotion past company commander. After 3 years with the Robinson DMM, she was offered her own command of the Bremen Draconis March Militia, and quickly turned that troublesome unit around. An expert at atmospheric drops, it's no surprise Mary's mech is one designed for planetary assault, and her constant tinkering means that her Thunderbolt is anything but standard. I mean, it's just a laser Thunderbolt. It is the top dog. So top dog gets a lot of energy buffs. Of course, it gets the normal structure buffs. Still has ubiquitous, rugged. Still has the multi-track. I mean, it's 11 million. It is marked up because, again, Kirita doesn't like us. But we could do some work with this. Thunderbolt's a good tanky mech on a good day. And with it being a laser boat, we could do stuff with this. I mean, we got 61 million. We're gonna buy it. Gotta catch 'em all, chat. Gotta catch 'em all. But of course, after buying it, we all know what I'm gonna do with it. It's immediately going into cold storage. We'll get around to it. Maybe. Maybe not. Looks like we have pulled the Pharaoh out of this Kentaro, so let's go ahead and sell it. And there we go. We are now ready to move on. So let's head over here to Riesling's Planets. And we'll do part 4 of Bring Her Home. Top Dog really likes clan ER mediums. I imagine. To be lore accurate, they should have maximum negative reputation for all mercs and refuse to give contracts to all. Yeah, I guess. But, you know, Kirita has, on occasion, hired mercenaries. It's just very rare, and they're always viewed with suspicion. So, like, I guess that would work. Because, like, you could never build, you know, you could treat it like the clans in BTA, where you can never build positive reputation, but you can still do missions for them. One of those type of things. I guess I could see that. We got... I'm sorry? Oh, is this post-DLC content? If so, I'm wondering why it's way out here in the middle of Draconis space. I mean, I'll go ahead and accept it. We might be able to get around to it at some point. But we're here to bring her home, apparently. So we'll take max salvage, as you do, fill in with sea bills, and let's see what the tonnage limit's gonna be. Oh. 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 They're giving us the full 400-ton limit on this one. That's a little scary. But I think this is just about the heaviest lance we can field. I mean, I could put in the awesome, but that's less heavy. I mean, the Battle Masters, the Victor, and the Highlander is pretty much the heaviest lance we can put on the field. If I had Atlases, I would absolutely go Steiner Scout Squad. Alright, Chet. You know the drill. Let's make it hot. Well, they weren't joking about poor visibility.
The decryption process is taking longer than I had anticipated. But without a doubt, the data originated here. I'll see if I can make any more headway in deciphering this. Maybe it can tell us something useful. In the meantime, I want you to take these bastards down. It's time they learn no one messes with House Cole.
Yeah, that's the other thing was up, is like a lot of times when Kirita hires mercenaries, if they do a good job and they don't end up getting killed, then they'll usually just be like, hey, you want to work for us permanently? I mean, I would argue that, well, probably not most, but there are a lot of mercenary companies out there that would very willingly take up a full commission in one of the house militaries just for the stability and the money and like not having to worry about finding work and all that. Like at that point you're basically set. But then of course there's gonna be that group that's like, nah, I don't want to work for any great house, I'd rather do my own thing. I mean, I don't know, Sarge. It depends. The Highlander for me has been hit or miss. This is the Royal Highlander, and it is yet another mech lab. So I'm interested to see if it works any better this time around. Oh, let's try the weapon group. Hey, there we go. We got it. We got it. I think I like the cluster better, though. It's good for taking out VTOLs. But the weapon group does work now. Hey, listen here, Sarge. There's nothing weird about having a favorite mech.
I've just seen schematics of the base. It's heavily fortified, and you are within a hair of triggering its perimeter defenses. A full frontal assault would trigger alarms and put the base on high alert, leading to increased resistance.
What do you suggest, Rihanna?
Samantha's briefing mentioned a path along the edge of the base. It's a longer detour, but we can potentially catch them by surprise if we take it. I strongly suggest the path of least resistance here, Commander, though the choice is yours.
Chad. This is our first official ability to make a bad tactical decision in a mission. Like, normally we just make the bad tactical decisions on the fly. But this time they're actually giving me an option. I mean, we have to make it hot, don't we?
It's colder than the shoulder, Command.
I mean, more enemies means more salvage.
It seems like the entire Shadow unit is closing in on your position. You're in for a hell of a fight.
Good. Bring your bullshit.
Another message from Samantha, Commander. You're going to want to hear this.
Commander, I just finished decoding the data. I know who's responsible for the attack on my father. I don't believe it, but it's my own family. Estranged cousins. They fled the Federated funds long ago after a failed attempt to usurp my grandfather. They appear to have taken
They weren't kidding.
refuge in the Draconis Combine.
I just wish there weren't so many damn
Classified
VTOLs.
information about my family in exchange for clemency. The pilot of the Victor that attacked my home.
Oh shit, they brought a Marauder too.
He aims to kill
These motherfuckers actually threw a Marauder 2 at us. Leg him. Leg him.
A puppet of the Draconis Combine rolling over households would destabilize the
Leg
entire
him.
region. We have to put a stop to these usurpers now.
Guys, if you don't mind maybe taking out a few of these fucking VTOLs while they're over here eating me alive, that would be great. Well, we're about to lose both arms, Chet, because of the fucking VTOLs. Shoot at the VTOLs. Shoot them down, for fuck's sake.
Target is down.
Okay, was that it? Like, am I expecting more shenanigans?
New target.
Wilco, focusing fire.
Oh, they brought their own Victor with their own LBX-10. Let's see if we can take that wall down. Oh, you're going around. All right.
Acquired.
Target received. Engaging.
Oh, really? Are you fucking serious? This motherfucker took off both of my arms.
Target destroyed.
Like, this dude shoots me twice and immediately takes off both fucking
No
arms.
hostiles detected. And one more thing.
That is about 10 different flavors of bullshit.
stuff has been in the work for generations. And now it's finally over. Thank you. Thank you for... Look at me getting all sentimental. Well, a deal is a
And I
deal.
lost, not only
Like
did we
actually
lose
bother,
an
then I'll make
Artemis
sure you get a little
SRM-6,
something extra for
I
your
also lost an
efforts.
LBX-10.
Nice work,
A
Merc.
tier 4 LBX-10! God damn it. And we almost made it to the end without him. And then this fucking douchebag rolls out in his Victor and he's just like, boop boop, now your arms are gone, because fuck you. Yeah, nah, I mean, you roll the bones, you take your chances, I know. Bad tactical decisions often comes with bad tactical rewards. But that's okay, we survived. Nobody died. And none of the mechs got completely destroyed. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, I gotta see what else they have. Not much. The only other thing I'd consider taking would be this LBX Ben, but a Marauder too. I'll pay an extra 1.3 million for a Marauder 2, and it's got the engine core. We legged it. It's still got the core. Like, there's no reason for me not to take that. Sold. And we get the Victor. How about that? Years ago, Henrik Cole's grandfather tried and failed to overthrow and then hit the then head of House Cole. Forced to flee quickly, Henrik's grandfather's battle mech is one of the few heirlooms that Henrik possessed. No one is quite sure where the name for the mech Basilisk came from, but reports indicate Henrik liked the name and reveled in the idea of his mech being named after a mythical creature known for its lethal gaze. It appears he was quite ignorant of the actual meaning of the name, Serpent King, and its origin was likely to have come about as a warning to watch out for the treacherous Coles. And it's actually in pretty good condition. Not only do we still have the core, but we can also salvage the LBX. It has both the solid and the cluster version. You love to see it. That's a damn good get. That is a damn good get. Not only did we get a Marauder 2, we also got another Hero Victor. Which, don't get me wrong, there are much better assault mechs than a Victor, but right now, they're the only assault mechs we got aside from the Battle Masters, so I'm gonna take that shit. That is outstanding salvage right there. Glad we did that mission chain. So let's go ahead and get the rest of the mechs put back together. The Highlander we're gonna have to look at fixing up. Oh, god damn it. The Victor lost an arm too. Erst, you got one of those Gausses destroyed. We ain't got many of those. What are you out here doing? Gauss is expensive. We can't afford to just be leaving those things blown up on the battlefield. You're lucky we got a few spares. And I'm blaming you, Erst, because you were the pilot in that thing. And then let's look at the Highlander. We're gonna have to put that back together. Any Pharaoh? We do have some Pharaoh. We got a few things of Pharaoh here. Let me see. Lost both fucking arms. So we can replace the LBX. The SRM-6, not so much. So do we have a facsimile, or are we gonna have to downgrade? Is the question. I think we're gonna have to downgrade. Well, that is unfortunate. But these things happen. Actually, you know what? Maybe we go SRM-6 Infernos? Burn them up? Now, Erst, you know better than that. You know damn well that even if we had a dedicated anti-air platform, They would have sat there shooting a fucking Victor or one of those Marauders in the face the entire time instead of shooting down the goddamn helicopters. Let's see. Let's see. Decisions. I mean, I think we just swap them out for regular SRMs for right now. If I'm gonna use SRM Infernos, I think I want to use them in an SRM boat. So maybe replace the SRMs in the trench bucket for Infernos. So we'll do that. We'll put in the 2 tons of ammo with the case. Now that has the knock-on benefit of giving us an additional 2 tons to play with. So, we could drop this small laser, put a medium back in it, and then, just for the lulls, put in a supercharger? It's heavier because it's heavy. Damn it. I wanted to put a supercharger in it thinking it was 1.5 tons, but the problem is that it's heavier because it's the assault mech version of the supercharger. I am disappointed. Alright, chat, what can we put in for 1.5 tons? I have returned. Well, welcome back, Sierra. You just missed us taking a bad tactical decision and getting both arms blown off the Highlander that we just put together, where we are now rebuilding it. Thankfully it didn't get cored, it just got the arms blown off. Maybe a beagle? I mean, a beagle's not a terrible idea. And it fits the profile, 1.5 tons. Yeah, I'll do that. Plus 25% base range bonus on the sensors. Enhanced line of sight sensor range, or non-line of sight sensor range, that's good. And almost completely removes ECM distortion. Yeah, I'll take it. Sold. Yeah, I know. Everybody always says, put in AMS. Like, god damn it, we don't have any AMS. I don't know why, but they're not spawning in shops. Like, we have gone this entire game so far and found no AMS unless they were already installed in a mech. And I feel like, even in like Battletech 2018, like when we were doing the BTA campaign, there were certain things, like the AMS, that you just never saw. Like, they were in the game. It's just, they never showed up in the shops. So I don't know. It's weird. But let's go ahead. It's going to be expensive, but we already know Royal Highlander's an expensive girl. But we did pick up the Marauder 2 and another Victor, the Basilisk Victor. I'm going to go ahead and drop these in cold storage for right now until we get to an industrial zone. And then we'll put them back together. So yeah, I think that's the end of this chain, right? Like there's no more missions in this chain? No, that's it. Alright, outstanding. Outstanding. If only we were in a place with a cantina. Is there one nearby, is the question. There are a few nearby. Let's see. I kind of want to head down here. But there's also missions up here in Rasselhag. I don't know. I'll tell you what though, chat. It's been about 7 hours, so I think I'm going to call the stream here. We got a lot of decisions to make about where we go from here. Again, we have plenty of other missions that we could be doing, including Crimson Crusade and a couple of other A couple of other narrative things here in Dracona space. We might consider doing those in the time that we're here. Again, Curita doesn't really like us very much, but doing some of these missions might improve our chances depending on who we're fighting against. So, you know, it's something to think about. I don't know. I may put it up to you guys. I haven't decided, but I may put up a poll on the Twitter machine and let you guys decide where we go from here. I mean, there's always more narrative missions to do, but of course, there's 4 directions in the Inner Sphere to go. So, we can go do all kinds of stuff. We can start getting stuck into some more of the DLCs. We can go on the hunt for more hero mechs. We still have the list, so we can keep tracking down more elite pilots. So there's all kinds of stuff that we could be doing, but we'll figure something out. Again, it's the Inner Sphere. There's always something to do. There's always something to blow up. But with that being said, let's say we bring things to a close. We'll drop a save, as you do. Better safe than sorry. And then let's head back to the office. Alright, Ajax. Well, thanks for hanging out. You're picking a good time to head out for some Space Station 14 with the auxiliary folks, since we're going to be wrapping up here. But as always, good to see you, glad to have you, glad you guys could hang out with us, spend some time with us in the Inner Sphere for some hot mech-on-mech action in Mechwarrior 5 on our modded career. Hopefully you had a good time. Again, we got a lot of missions complete. We're knocking those narratives out like clockwork and getting a lot of good mechs and equipment in the process. So we're about halfway through the, I guess, as far as the timeline goes, where yet another mech lab is concerned. But hopefully in the next 10 to 15 in-game years, we'll start to see a lot more of that, like the really good lost tech equipment start popping up. And then we can get into some real mech bay shenanigans. You know, once we've got, you know, an Atlas and we could put a 400 engine in an XL and then, you know, deck it out with Pharaoh and Indo and a bunch of clan weapons, then we can start to do, you know, the real mech bay heresy like what we were doing back in BTA. So it's been a long time coming. I'm excited to see that because I have not played with any of the clan stuff in yet another mech lab yet. So it'll be interesting to see how much better it performs. I mean, I know how much better it performs in like BTA and on the tabletop. But playing with that kind of equipment, or at least some modder's rendition of that equipment here in Mechwarrior 5 should be an interesting experience. So we'll have to see how that goes. But either way, we had a good day. We got some pilots. We got some money. We got some more hero mechs. We got a hero... What do we get? We got a hero a hero Thunderbolt and a hero Charger, the Lucky 7 Charger. So we might have to do something with that as well. Again, the to-do list never ends. It's always growing. It's always growing. So I want to thank you guys for coming out to hang out with us on a Saturday. Again, the world is a roller coaster of challenges, and we don't all have a lot of time on this planet. So I want to thank you for coming out to hang out with us for some Mechwarrior and some nerd shit. You know how it is. But again, your time is valuable, so I appreciate every minute that you spend here, whether you're here for 5 minutes, for 5 hours, if you're catching the Vons, if you're catching the archive, either way, I appreciate your time, I appreciate your attention, and it fills my heart with joy to know that I'm creating the kind of content that you guys want to be here to experience. So thank you guys so much. Again, there is no channel without you. I'm just the monkey putting on the show. You guys make this what it is, and I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for making this what it is. And I will remind you, like I always do, that your life has value, and that the world is a better place with you in it. Never let anyone tell you otherwise, and I'll see you next time.